Yo, you sat there and had a letter from this man's wife? How much more personal can you get, Samoa Joe?
No, baby, that's for somebody else. This is going to keep you right where you at right now. It doesn't matter what you
The Wrestling Realm presents Break It Down with Brian H.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode number 25 of Break It Down with Brian H. I'm your host, Brian H. Waters. Now, what a night on Smackdown, folks. You know, AJ Styles and Samoa Joe, just when you thought it got personal a couple weeks ago, it just got even worse. You know, AJ Styles said he had a promise for Samoa Joe, but in fact, it was Joe who came up with a promise of his when he read a note that's basically said maybe AJ didn't want to be a husband. Maybe he didn't want to have kids. And he said all this came from Wendy Styles, AJ Styles' wife. Man, this is going to get real ugly come Sunday. Now, AJ Styles just got, his body's probably just recovered from his feud with Shinsuke Nakamura. They had a feud with Rusev, and not to say Rusev is a pushover, but let's be real, that wasn't that personal. Now, this has gotten really personal. I mean, it's one thing with him and Shinsuke because it was like a professional respect thing. But then, now we're talking, Shinsuke was trying to prevent AJ Styles from having kids, where Samoa Joe is talking about AJ Styles wishes he never had kids. And brings up his wife. So, man, I just don't know. I want to know, what do you think, folks? When you look at this between AJ Styles and Samoa Joe, will Samoa Joe get in AJ Styles' head so much, or has he gotten in his head so much that now we will get a new WWE champion come Summerslam? Because I honestly do not know. And now let's look. Daniel Bryan and The Miz. So we saw that the WWE put together a really cool package. They pretty much built a show around this one. And you can check out the prediction show coming up where me and the Shark, Sean Williams, we discussed this. We discussed this feud to a great length and who we have winning this match come Sunday. But one of the things I like what they did, not only did they just show you the chronological time of events, instead they showed you, they made the comparisons and they show how both guys, their journeys were different, but they ultimately had the same thing. They both main evented WrestleMania. They both were champions. They both was, how obviously The Miz was Daniel Bryan's pro, which to everybody in the wrestling world made no sense. But there was so much money made off of that feud, it's ridiculous. So, I'm just sitting there and I'm like, man, I really love how they put these packages together. And I tell you one thing, Smackdown, they've sold us on these this pay-per-view, SummerSlam this Sunday. If you haven't been sold on it, then I don't know what you're doing. But moving on, the tag team champions, challengers, I should say, the challengers for the tag team titles, Kofi Kingston and the New Day picking up the win against Sanity. Kofi Kingston, they celebrated his birthday on Tuesday. It's good to see him get a win on his birthday. Still confused, not sure what happens with this one. They take on the Bludgeon Brothers. The Bludgeon Brothers, themselves took on some jobbers. Obviously, they made short work out of those guys from South Carolina. So this is interesting. But I want to see what the New Day does. They were tag team champions for over 400 days, longest reigning tag team champions. So we're going to have to see them dig deep if they're going to win the titles yet again. But I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be right back after this message from one of my friends.
What's up, guys? This is the boys from Talkamania, and you're listening to Break It Down with Brian H., brought to you by The Wrestling Realm.
And I am back, ladies and gentlemen. So let's move on to the pre-show match that's going to take place. And that is Adonis Siamis and Zelina Vega. They will take on Rusev and Lana. So before we get there, we have a match. Is it a warm-up match? The match meant something. And that was Siamis taking on Aiden English. Almost would come up with the victory, but I'm just wondering what happens with Aiden English. You know, how long is he still going to be around? Make sure you listen to the prediction show because I discussed that, what I think is going to happen with him. Nonetheless, we've seen Zelina Vega is just money on her microphone, and so is Lana. And I think this is a perfect feud for both of these ladies. They're both in the same wheelhouse, and it just makes sense. And I think this will be one of the better mixed tag matches we've seen in a while. And then, speaking of women, Becky Lynch and Charlotte, they took on Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. So, you know, Becky Lynch, you know, Carmella, she's been trying to instigate. She's like, go ahead and say you didn't want Charlotte in this match. And Becky said, yeah, I didn't, because I know she's a phenomenal athlete and I wanted to beat you one-on-one. I think, folks, we get a heel turn from Becky Lynch. I think she wins the title, but I think she cheats to win because there is no disqualification. So I think she does something crazy to Charlotte, and this sets up for a money matchup between the two down the line. I just think that's going to happen. It makes total sense. So, and then we had Jeff Hardy and Shelton Benjamin taking. Jeff Hardy, you know, he took on Shelton Benjamin. Shinsuke Nakamura came out. He tried to beat him up, but then there's Randy Orton lurking, and as you see, Randy Orton's just sitting back, waiting to pick Jeff Hardy apart, but he didn't do anything. I want to know what's going on with this one. Obviously, Orton's not in the title match. He's not wrestling at SummerSlam. I want to see what happens with him and Jeff Hardy afterwards. And it's one of those things, to be honest with you, I'm kind of looking forward to what happens after SummerSlam than I'm looking forward to now. So only time will tell. But I'm going to take a quick break, and when I get back, I will give you this week's Wrestling for the Culture.
It's time for Wrestling for the Culture, where we take a look inside to see what the wrestlers of color have been doing this week.
All right, I'm back. Wrestling for the Culture this week, ladies and gentlemen. So, Titus O'Neil. I mean, you can't say enough great things about this man. And he posted on his Instagram, and I'll read the quote. Just finished up a phone convo with my Bullard Family Foundation and Hillsbury School, folks with hopes of moving forward with plans to start a public school similar to LeBron James, thank you, which will provide free tuition, uniforms, transportation, food pantry, adult education services, and more. When you take the limits off the possible, it opens a highway to the possibilities. I'm just an extraordinary guy. I'm just an ordinary guy with an extraordinary vision to duplicate the love and efforts that were used to get me to where I am today as a man. So shout out to Titus O'Neil, just doing it huge for the culture. You know, that's what it's all about, giving back. He's using this platform, and this is a guy who each and every wrestler can be proud of. And then if you watched, well, you know the Mae Young Classic tape has just happened. So you may have watched it, you may not. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but I will tell you this. You go on the internet, there's a video circulating, and there's the crowd that's all there, and there's a lot of participants in the Classic, but there's one woman who they're chanting to Triple H to sign, and that is Mia Yim, where the fans were saying, please sign Mia. And Triple H said, done. So, ladies and gentlemen, this could be it. Mia Yim could be WWE bound, which I'll say this personally, from a personal standpoint, I'll be happy. She was the first wrestler who allowed me to interview her when I worked for PW Journal, and you know, when I was interning at the Baltimore Sun, Fox Sports. Any time I asked, hey, Mia, can I get an interview? She was always gracious and just one of the nicest people that I know. One of my good friends in the business. So I'm definitely rooting for her. And then, if you've been watching, if you're on Instagram, you may see there's a photo circulating with Leo Rush, Ricochet, Angelo Dawkins, and Montez Ford gathered together, and now fans want a stable. They want them together because they said, hey, this looks cool. These guys all wearing the jacket, tracksuits. So, and well, in this week, Terry Crews, guy, the actor Terry Crews, he's the one welcoming you to SummerSlam with this epic trailer. So, like I said, WWE, they know where the money is. They do it for the culture. And then last but certainly not least, congratulations to Ronnie Nicole becoming the new PWX Women's Champion. So make sure you check out the Brian H. Waters each and every week for Wrestling for the Culture. And ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of content coming to you from the Wrestling Realms. Break It Down with Brian H. I have not one, but two prediction shows. Both of them with the Shark Sean Williams, where we go over SummerSlam and we go over TakeOver. So, folks, until the next time, I'm Brian H. Waters. Make sure if you're on YouTube, you hit that subscribe button and you click the links in the playlist right there. So long, everybody.